My name is Enrique Haag. I am a Darwin leader and I have traveled from Chile to New Zealand to study the imbalance in the marine ecosystem regarding the overpopulation of sea urchin, specifically Kina, and the kelp forests. In nature, balance is everything. For centuries, marine environments in New Zealand have maintained this delicate equilibrium, but human impact has disrupted it in many places. Across New Zealand's coastal waters, the explosion of sea urchins populations, particularly Kina, has caused widespread ecological damage. The removal of their natural predators, large fish and lobsters, through commercial and recreational fishing has led to unchecked growth in Kina numbers, with devastating effects on marine ecosystems.
Both of the main predator species we have for sea urchins are the crayfish and the snapper. Both of those species are heavily fished both commercially and recreationally. So recreational divers love to go out and collect crayfish. Same with snapper, catching snapper on a line, but also spearfishing. It's really popular recreational fishing for snapper and crayfish.
So sea urchins are an important part of the ecosystem. And in normal densities, they provide food and sound and are not a problem. But when the ecosystem goes out of balance and there's too many, they will eat the kelp and can eat all of the kelp. And once that's happened and it's turned into what we call an urchin barren or a Kina barren, the ecosystem suffers. So kelp forests are among the most productive ecosystems on the planet. So they provide the habitat, food for these amazing ecosystems. They really are the forests of the ocean. Research in Tasmania have shown that when we lose the kelp forest, we lose about 150 other taxa. So that includes fish, marine mammals, invertebrates, sharks, birds, everything that needs the structure and food to survive. So when we lose that, we also lose the benefits that we have to fisheries. So many of the species that we like to eat rely on kelp forests.
One of the clearest examples of this issue is here at Goat Island Marine Reserve, where decades ago, scientists first discovered the problem of Kina barrens. Barren, rocky seafloors caused by overgrazing. Kelp forests, vital ecosystems that support marine life and help absorb carbon dioxide, were reduced to desolate wastelands. In 1975, the water surrounding Goat Island was made a marine reserve, implementing fishing bans in order to try to restore the marine ecosystem.
When the center was opened, all of this area behind us was what they called bare rock. And they thought that was normal. And what they didn't realize is that that was actually a consequence of industrial fishing.
Commercial or industrial scale fishing for snapper and crayfish was really prevalent and really kicked off in the 50s and 60s. So those populations were actually already at low levels by the 70s and 80s. So when I started my research, we were already seeing very obvious impacts of fishing, and we've learned more about them over time. And we've seen within protected areas how you can reverse those impacts.
So this was the first no-take marine reserve in the world. The predator populations grew, and then over time, 15 to 20 years, what was a Kina barren turned into a functional kelp forest again.
In the next chapter, we will talk more about the effects that this marine reserve has had in the recovery of kelp forests, as well as in the restoration of ecodiversity and natural balance. Furthermore, we will discuss the research that scientists at Goat Island have been studying and their efforts to restore and recover marine ecosystems in places outside of this marine reserve.